Welcome to the Transom Podcast, a monthly roundup of the new features on the transom.org website, providing mathematical puzzles, games, learning activities, and the ever-popular mathematics lesson starter of the day. Here's your host, John Tranter.
And welcome to this first edition of the Transom Podcast. Now, the plan is to start off with a puzzle or a problem or something to make you think. I know a lot of you are listening to this as you're driving or doing the work around the house or just relaxing. So I'd like to give you something to have a good think about while the podcast runs on, and then we'll have the answer at the end. So we'll start off with this one. It's a good old favourite of mine. Used it with many classes of eager math students in the past. Imagine a cube. A perfect cube, which is suspended from one vertex. It's suspended over a bucket of milk. And then slowly the cube is lowered into the bucket until it is completely submerged in the milk. Now the problem is to imagine this happening. Imagine the cube being suspended from one of the vertices, and as it starts to break the surface of the milk as it descends, can you imagine what two-dimensional shape it will cut in the surface of the milk as it gets lower and lower? So that's the thing to think about, is what happens as the cube gets lower and lower in the bucket of milk. What two-dimensional shape will it cut in the surface of the milk? So, as you're thinking about that, I'll bring you some other information, some other news from Transom Mathematics. I guess if you're in the UK or the US listening to this, you're probably enjoying your well-earned summer holiday right now. But if you're in Australia or New Zealand, or in fact anywhere in the southern hemisphere, it's probably business as usual, I presume. I've returned from my holiday. I went to the island of Koh Muk in Thailand, and when I was there I read Alex's Adventures in Numberland by Alex Bellos. I really enjoyed it and thoroughly recommend it to you as a good, interesting read for someone who's interested in mathematics. A lot of the ideas in there perhaps may not even be new to you, but he goes into such depth and he interviews people who've been involved in these various aspects of mathematics that it makes a really interesting read. So I thoroughly recommend that. And now I've started to read his other book, Alex Through the Looking Glass, and I'm about halfway through that and enjoying it just as much. So, what's new on the Transom website? Well, the activity called Shunting Puzzles was created and uploaded and seems to be working fine. It's an interactive activity to go with the shunting starter that appears on the 9th of January. The activity is not explicitly mathematical, but it does require abstract thought, logical deduction, and the generation of a strategy. So it's very closely linked. The real skill is to have more than one tram moving at the same time to minimise the time taken to complete the task, and that can be quite a challenge. Currently the record for level 1 is 27 seconds, so if you think you can beat that, head over to transom.org and click on puzzles. Double Take and Catapult are two modern style computer games that are very addictive. Unfortunately, they don't work with the very older web browsers such as Internet Explorer 8, but the records show that most people using the Transom website are using more up-to-date software, so it should all work very fine. Have a go at those, they're fun. The T-Puzzle has been around since the year 1900, but the Transom version was born at 1900 hours on the 19th of July. Believe it or not. There are links lower down the T-Puzzle page listing to other Transom Tangram activities. I was surprised when creating the Magic Square puzzle to find how many different groups of 4 numbers in the 4x4 Magic Square add up to the magical total. Just finding those groups of 4, no matter about creating the square, but actually just finding the sets of 4 that add up to the magic total is a great activity for pupils of all abilities. And the last update was the addition of isometric paper to the graph paper generating page, and the sieve of Eratosthenes has been updated with assorted comments each time a task is completed. So those were the updates.
You are listening to the Transum podcast. You can find Transum Mathematics at www.transum.org.
As usual, this month, people have sent in comments and observations, which is really good. Regarding the step perimeter starter, Winnie from London says, "My Year 6 class just love this puzzle." That's good to hear. There's a very popular starter called Just Under a Quid that challenges you to find words that cost exactly 1 penny less than £1 if the letters are added up, assuming that A is 1, B is 2, and so forth. N. Chowdhury from Wilmslow said, "We found strudel, answers, and popular." Hafsa from Year 6, Avenue Primary School, says snowman. Miss Patel from West Houghton High School says that Lauren Farimond found 17, that's the word, not the number, and Joshua Taylor found yo-yos. On the subject of Sid Schemes, which is a starter that poses the question about Sid's wages. He earns £100 a week. For a summer holiday bonus, his boss gives him a choice between 3 schemes. Which would you choose? 1, a 20% pay rise today, followed by a 20% pay cut in 1 week's time. Or 2, an £18 one-time bonus. Or 3, a £2 gift each day for the next 9 days. Anyway, Pete Thompson says to make this a real problem, the time frame needs including, because any company would have to supply this. Option 1, the calculations are good, but option 2, 9 days at £2 is too simple. So good idea that could have improved options. Okay, thanks Pete. There's always a conflict designing maths problems between being oversimplistic to make them accessible for the students and being realistic. So, is this starter pitched at the right level? What do you think? So thanks everyone for your comments and observations. Please keep them coming and we'll get back to some more next month. So finally, the answer to the problem I gave you at the beginning of the podcast. Think about a cube suspended from one vertex being slowly lowered into a bucket of milk. What 2-dimensional plane shapes are created or are cut in the surface of the milk as it is lowered to become completely submerged? Well, I believe the answers are a triangle, an increasing equilateral triangle, an irregular hexagon, a regular hexagon, another irregular hexagon, and then finally a decreasing in size equilateral triangle until the cube is completely submerged. If that was too easy for you, why not consider a cuboid being lowered into the milk? That's a bit more tricky.
Thank you for downloading and listening to the Transum podcast. You can find the website at www.transum.org, where you're welcome to use all of the activities absolutely free, or jump in with both feet and become a Transum subscriber.